What's going on, guys? Welcome to probably a very rambling video. I don't have a goal here. I just want to talk about the state of Magic, where it's going, what's happening, what's going on. I want to talk about how it's impacting the creator community, and I want to talk about like my channel, what I've been doing. So this is like a rambling, this is like a channel update, a game update, a what's going on video. A lot of you might not be interested. That's fine. There's plenty of other content to watch, but I just want to talk about the game. So let's start by talking about what quarantine, what the pandemic has done to the game, because I think the game right now, I think Magic is in a very, very bad state. It's not good. The problem right now, right, is that people just can't play in paper, and playing in paper is very, very important to like the enfranchisement of players. I know Wizards of the Coast likes to focus on digital Magic, Magic Arena, Magic Online, because they make more of the money. They make all the money. They make 100% of the profits, whereas in local game stores, they have to sell it through distributors, and local game stores have to profit. So it makes sense that they care more about digital Magic, but like players tend to stick with this game longer when they play in paper. I could say that I am the most enthusiastic about Magic when I'm playing in paper. When I was playing at a local game store, I was more dedicated and more interested in Magic than I ever have been. And when I'm not playing in paper, like now, I still love this game, right? I've played for 18 years now. I've played Magic for 18 years, and I always love this game. I've always loved this game. There are times when I maybe don't like it so much, when the meta games aren't great, but for the most part, I love this game. Played it for a long time, but I'm never as enthusiastic as when I'm playing in paper. When I'm playing in paper, like it just becomes much more, I just feel much more involved when I'm playing in paper. That's just all it is. That's all there is to it. And I think that's true for a lot of people. And we have seen since the pandemic, since quarantine started hitting, since people stopped playing in paper as quite as much, there's been a massive drop off in viewership, not just on my channel. I'm not complaining about my views. Across the board, Google Trends, if you look at Magic the Gathering, it's just all down. It's down, 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 down. All of my, content creator friends that I talk to all saying viewership is down. I know I've seen the biggest channel, is he still the biggest Tolarian Community College, complaining about views just plummeting. Everything's down, and that's just not me being a content creator complaining about views. It's just the interest in Magic as a whole has been downtrending for months. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that people just aren't playing in paper, so they're not as enfranchised. Arena is great. I play Arena all the time, but it's like it creates a much more casual interest, right? Like I could fire up Magic Arena and play it and be like, yeah, this is fun, but it doesn't create that attachment that playing at a local game store with friends does, right? It's like a much more casual, less involved way of playing Magic. So it's all been down. It's been down, and it's been down since basically since quarantine. The first time I noticed it, the first time I really noticed that things were going wrong, things were going really poorly, was when I did my Challenger deck upgrades last year. I posted those and they didn't get nearly the number of views as they normally do. And I don't think about that too much, right? Like I posted them, they didn't really do well, and I was like, well, that sucks. I will just do something else. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal for me, really. I didn't think about it too much at the time. But then a couple months later, the core set Planeswalker decks came out, and once again, those are usually the best performing videos on my channel. When I do Planeswalker deck upgrades, they typically get thousands of views in the first week. They often go up into the 10 to 15,000 view range, and I uploaded them and they just went nowhere. Like every Planeswalker deck that I've ever done, I'm pretty sure they all have 10,000 plus views, most of them up into like the 15 plus thousand range. And last year's, I think they all have like 2,000 to 3,000 at this point after many, many months of gaining views. And that was like the second round. That was the second batch of videos that I thought were going to go really well, and I realized that they did not. And that was when it hit me that, yeah, people just aren't interested right now. People aren't interested in paper upgrades. People aren't interested in deck guides. People just aren't interested in Magic right now, which is totally fine. Some people are, obviously. My channel still gets views. The Magic community is still pumping out content. People are still watching it. People are still playing. People are still buying Secret Lairs. people are still buying paper products. Apparently, Ikoria was one of the best-selling sets like ever, which I'm a little bit dubious about that. Actually, I'll just say it. I think that's because a lot of people were getting, at least in the United States, were getting their stimulus checks at that time, and I think a lot of people just bought a booster box or two because why not? You know, you got $1,200, buy a booster box to support your LGS. That was the point. You know, go spend money, stimulate the economy. So I think a lot of people bought Ikoria just because it came out right as people were getting checks. But that aside, like it's obvious that yes, things are not going well, right? But my point is, yes, people are still interested in Magic for sure, but overall the numbers are down across the board. Not just with me, with a lot of content creators, with a lot of even like Twitch viewership. Like if you look at the Magic the Gathering channel on Twitch, I rarely see it above like 3,000 to 5,000 views, and that's terrible. Like if you look at, I don't know, like Rocket League, it's typically pulling like 50 to 100,000 plus. You know, like a Rocket League tournament. I'm using Rocket League because I've been playing it a lot recently. But a Rocket League tournament will pull like easily 60 to 80,000 people, whereas Magic the Gathering tournaments at their height get like 10,000 at best, maybe 12,000. And I don't think the game is dying. I don't want to be here and be like, oh, the game's dead, guys, game's dead, Magic's dead. Not the case, but it's definitely at a very low point right now. We can see that across the board by basically every metric, except apparently people are spending money on Magic just the same. But in terms of viewership, in terms of just people's interest in the game, everything just seems down. Everything seems worse than ever. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that people just aren't playing. Now, my outlook on that has been, it'll probably get better, right? It'll probably get better once we can start playing in paper again. Once Paper Magic Fest start, oh dude, Paper Magic Fest have to happen. They have to, like, as soon as they can, please. It's very important. Once these vaccines get out, I think it's very important that Wizards of the Coast hits that really hard, just really pushes hard for paper tournaments again, as soon as we can. But my outlook is it's gonna get better, but in the meantime, I have really like radically changed what I'm doing here on YouTube. I don't know if any of my regular viewers have noticed, but I've basically been exclusively playing Magic Arena. Like 80% of my videos are arena videos right now, and that's just because that's the only thing that people really care about right now. Like doing deck guides, doing deck techs, people just aren't interested. People don't want to see it. It's not doing well. It's the most watched type of content that I make, and every time I make it, it just completely falls flat. And my Magic Arena and Magic Online content has never done well. People aren't really interested in watching me play Magic, and that's because I'm kind of boring. I fully admit it. I'm not an enthusiastic, loud, you know, highly emotional person. I'm very like really just kind of chill and relaxed, and I just kind of play and talk people through what I'm thinking about as I'm playing, which isn't necessarily the most exciting content, right? People want to be entertained, and I'm not the most entertaining person. I definitely consider myself more of an information channel. People click on my videos because they want the information that I present in the title. I say, here's how to do this, here's how this works, here's how this thing does this thing over here. I don't know, but the point is, if I make a video and I title it like, here's how this works, here's how that works, here's how you do this, then that video will do really well. You know, here's how to upgrade this deck, here's how to upgrade this deck, here's how to build this type of deck on a budget. When I make that kind of content, people are interested. When I play Magic Arena for fun, like, people just aren't interested, and that's fine. But since none of my videos are doing well because of the current climate, I've just been like, screw it, I don't care. If no one wants to watch my videos, then I'm just gonna have fun. I'm gonna play some Magic Arena. We'll make some Magic Arena videos for now, and we'll get back to like deck techs and deck guides and how to build stuff on a budget, and, you know, more Friday Night Magic level play. I'll be more focused on that kind of stuff in the future, right? We'll get there eventually. But right now, that stuff's just not doing well, so screw it. I'm just gonna be playing Magic Arena. And the problem with that, I think, my perception, or my best guess is that there's just too many people making Magic Arena content. There's so much saturation right now. There's a lot of people making Magic Arena content, people that I've never heard of. I came across a Magic Arena channel recently. They have only ever made Magic Arena videos. I don't even remember the name. I'd never heard of them before. Clicked on their YouTube page because I was like, who's this? The video had like 20,000 views, and I didn't recognize the name, so I was like, who the heck's that? And I clicked on it, and they had like 60,000 subscribers, and I had never heard of them. I was like, what the heck? who the heck's that? And that's like the case with Magic Arena or Magic the Gathering content as a whole, is that there's just so many people that I can't keep track of like who's who anymore. Maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just old man affinity, can't keep up with the youngins, but like there's just so many people making content. It's like holy crap. I would bet, and I don't think I'm exaggerating here. I'm gonna try really hard not to exaggerate. I think about half of my Twitter followers are content creators, and I actually mean that. I mean, I don't have a huge Twitter following. I don't like Twitter. I don't like social media. I go there mostly to like post my videos. Follow me on Twitter and you'll get my videos when I post them and the occasional really stupid meme that's not funny. If you're interested in that, follow me on Twitter, because that's it. But yeah, I just, all the drama and social media, don't like it. But I am there technically, and I have like 600-ish followers. I don't actually know. Did I hit 700? 600 to 7, I don't know. But I genuinely think that about 300 plus of them are YouTube channels, Twitch streamers, their podcasts. There's so much. Like, when I get a notification that someone followed me, almost every time it's a content creator. It's very rare. It's actually very rare for me to get followed by someone and I like go to the notification and say like, who's this? And it's a person, right? It's very rare that it's a person. Because you can just hover over the name and you get the little pop-up and you get their like Twitter bio, and like 99% of the time it's like YouTube channel, Twitch streamer, it's something, it's a podcaster, it's always something, it's always a content creator. And it's like there's so many, I can't keep track of who's who. There's so many people, and that's led to like this major saturation problem where there's just so many people doing it, and all of us are basically making the same type of content right now. We're all just doing Magic Arena because, doing a Planeswalker deck upgrade guide doesn't do well. Pack opening, even like pack openings aren't doing well, guys. I haven't opened packs on this channel since, when was the last time? Didn't I open a Ravnica Allegiance bundle? Like, I think 2019, guys, was the last time I did a pack opening. That's just mostly because I was never really known for doing pack openings. But from what I've seen from people who like do variety content, like Total MTG comes to mind, people like that, people who don't have like a set type of content that they do and they just do like whatever. Pack openings are doing really bad, unless you're Alpha Investments or a very heavily dedicated pack opening channel like a MTG Unpacked comes to mind, Mr. Bevers comes to mind, Alpha Investments, who's the guy who opens all the old stuff? I don't even remember. God, I'm so bad. But there are some people who are just like fully dedicated pack opening channels. But in terms of like uploading just a random Zendikar Rising pack opening, like no one wants to see that. No one's interested anymore. That's just like this weird state that Magic content has fallen into, is that people just don't seem interested anymore in anything unless it's like, I don't know. I don't even know. Like what type of videos are popular? I mean, Command Clash is very popular. When the professor uploads sleeve videos, those are popular. Rudy's pack openings do fine. Like, but for the most part, it's like, it's just Magic Arena. That's it. Like, you either play Magic Arena or people are interested. And a lot of that has to do, I think, with the fact that people just aren't playing in paper. So who the heck wants to watch some random person open, 5 Zendikar Rising packs when, you open those all the time on Magic Arena, and, you can just watch Magic Arena content. I don't know, like, people just aren't interested in Magic as a general game. They're just mostly interested in seeing Magic Arena gameplay, and I don't know, it's a really weird place that we're at right now. I think another big issue, did I mention that this is going to be a rambling video with no real goal? We're just rambling about nonsense. But another issue is, I think it seems like to me, I've been trying to pay attention, trying to like keep in contact with some of the people that I used to play with. A lot of the enfranchised players, they've lost interest in the game like over the past couple years. A lot of the older people that I used to play with, a lot of the like enfranchised modern players just haven't been into the game. I think, man, I don't want to harp on it again, but I hate Modern Horizons. I think Modern Horizons was a stupid mistake, but I think that changed how people look at Modern, and I think there's a lot of just people not, I don't know, like, for me example, let me just use my example, me as an example, my personal experience, so I'm not talking too broadly here. I haven't played Modern much recently, and I haven't played Modern much recently since Modern Horizons ruined Affinity. That's just the truth of it. I had Affinity in paper, I had Affinity on Magic Online. Modern Horizons came out, killed Affinity because of Urza. Urza killed Affinity by getting Mox Opal banned. And, the metagame changed so much from Modern Horizons that Affinity isn't even the fastest deck anymore, even with Mox Opal. So I've reached a point where it's like, my favorite deck isn't playable. I can't invest in a modern deck because I don't know when it changes every set. So it's like, as an enfranchised player who's been playing for like 18 years, modern isn't modern anymore. It doesn't feel like an eternal format. It technically wasn't an eternal format. It was a non-rotating format, if you must insist on proper terminology. But regardless, like the concept of I can invest my money in a deck and that'll be fine in modern isn't really the case anymore. And that's very detrimental to enfranchised players. Not because people are too poor to afford new decks, or people are too offended or whatever. It's because non-rotating formats were how Magic kept people in the game. Like the stereotype, and it's not always true, but the stereotype with standard players is they will typically last 2 rotations before leaving the game. They'll play, their deck will rotate, and they'll be super bummed about it, but they'll still be enthusiastic, so they'll build a new deck, they'll play through another rotation, and then once that second rotation hits, that'll be the point where they're like, why am I doing this, right? That's very consistent. And it's also true that when people play standard, if they don't have a deck that fits their playstyle in the metagame, that's more likely to kick them out of the game. Like if someone really likes playing aggro and aggro isn't viable, then they'll leave. If they really like playing combo and combo isn't viable, then they'll leave. If they like playing mid-range and mid-range isn't viable, then they'll leave. Like people will have a certain type of deck that they like to play, and standard is very volatile. Like aggro is really good for 4 months, and then mid-range is really good for 4 months, and combo is really good for 4 months. So because of that volatility, it's more likely to sort of force people out of the game because they don't feel comfortable playing any of the decks in the metagame, assuming that they aren't just priced out of the game from having to buy a new deck every few months. And that's the second rotation, or that point where they're about to leave the game. That's the point where it is incredibly important. It is the most important thing ever for that player to get into a non-rotating format. Whether it's Commander, Modern, Pioneer, doesn't matter. They just need to get into a format that doesn't rotate, because once they do that, they can build any deck from any playstyle that they like. If they want to play aggro, they can. If they want to play artifacts, they can. If they want to play enchantress, they can. They need to get into a format where they can play any type of deck that they want, and they need to get into a format where they can play that deck forever. Basically, one of two things happen when a player hits that second rotation. They either leave the game forever, or they become modern players and commander players. And the problem right now is that's not really an option. We are so Magic Arena focused. And let me say really quick, Magic Arena is great. I think a lot of people hate it. Like the people who hate it, I don't really get it. I think the economy is not perfect, but for the most part, I think the platform is really, really good. But it doesn't keep players enfranchised. It churns and burns, right? It gets them in, takes their money, gets them out. That's how Magic Arena works. It doesn't create that enfranchisement that Modern does or Commander does. Like when people play Commander, so once someone gets into Commander, right? Once someone becomes a Commander player, I am confident that they'll play for 5 years, that they'll play for 10 years, Like if someone says, I'm going to play Commander for the first time, I'm like, damn, that person's going to be a Magic player now. I know it. You see someone who's been playing for like a year and they're like, I really like Standard. Standard's really fun. I built this deck. And I'm like, that's super cool. That's awesome. But I don't have confidence that that person will still be a Magic player 2 years from now, right? Because that's someone who's new to the game and, they're really interested, but I don't think that they're enfranchised yet. And they become enfranchised once they get into non-rotating formats because they can build a deck that they love and then play it forever. And the problem with Modern Horizons is it basically turned Modern into Standard, where it basically rotates every year. Not just with Modern Horizons, but with the power creep of Standard. We've reached this point where Modern isn't Modern anymore. It's you don't just build a Modern deck and you're good. I can say that with personal experience. With Affinity, I built Affinity, played it, it's fun, and now it's dead. And it's dead because Modern Horizons. And we've reached a point where, we don't have a format now where people can say, well, I don't want to play a rotating format, but I can spend money in this format and then I can play forever. We still have Commander's still great, but we don't have a competitive format anymore. And I think that's leading leading to a lot of disenfranchisement where, people are constantly coming into the game and leaving the game. That's normal, but growth happens when you have enfranchisement, right? When people get into the game and they decide, I want to play this game for years. And that happens when people can, identify with a deck and say, this is my deck, I'm a Tron player, I'm a Death Shadow player, I'm an Affinity player, I'm a Burn player. Like once people have that enfranchisement where they identify with a deck and they become known as the person who plays that deck, that's when someone really becomes enfranchised in the game. And currently that's not really possible. I mean, technically a lot of tier 1 modern decks are still tier 1. You can still play Jund, kind of. You can still play Tron. You can still play Death Shadow, right? They're all still viable, but we've reached the point where there isn't confidence. I don't feel confident that I could build a modern deck now and have it still be viable a year from now. And that's really, really bad in my opinion for that enfranchisement factor. It is very important that people have the ability to buy into a deck, buy into a format, and feel like, they can play that deck forever or for years at least. So the combination of, obviously people just not playing in paper and also the enfranchised, more veteran players just feeling disenfranchised and just kind of over the game because of just the state of modern, the state of even Pioneer being such a disaster for so long. Pauper's absolutely terrible. Pauper's been bad for so long. People just aren't, happy. And, a lot of the Magic community, a lot of people get kind of offended over things that don't matter. I remember when the VIP boosters came out, right? Those double master VIP boosters. People thought it was the end of the world. They're like, oh my God, a $100 booster pack. And I remember seeing $100 for a booster pack and thinking that can't be right. No way. No. There must be a mistake. And I looked at the contents and I was like, wow, that's absolutely terrible. Why would anyone buy that? But my reaction to that was, first off, yes, it's terrible. And second, who gives a crap? It doesn't matter. Wizards of the Coast could print a $500 booster. They could print a $1,000 booster pack. They could print a $20,000 gold-plated booster pack. And who gives a crap? Not me. The Magic the Gathering community gets super, worked up over things that aren't important. I don't give a crap about, fancy crap. I don't care if Wizards of the Coast prints some high-priced premium whale of a product that's purely designed to siphon money out of rich people's bank accounts. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care if Wizards of the Coast prints a fancy booster box that's $400. Doesn't matter. So long as there's nothing unique to that box, so long as there's nothing unique to that product. I do have a very big problem with secret layers bypassing local game stores. I do have a problem with mechanically unique cards in those products. The Walking Dead secret layer, it was a mistake for sure. But for the most part, if Wizard of the Coast prints some fancy ass VIP booster thing, whatever, I don't care, whatever. But I do care about the state of Modern. I do care about the state of Pauper. I do think that Wizards of the Coast has done a very poor job recently of enfranchising players, of keeping in mind that, there is long-term benefit to creating players who want to play this game long-term. In my opinion, I don't care about the fancy crap. I don't care about the overpriced, premium whatsoever. Who cares? Whatever that stuff is, don't care. Don't care about any of that. But I think Wizards of the Coast has been too short-sighted recently. They're only seeing short-term gain and not really looking at the long-term impacts of what they're doing. And that has led to a lot of disenfranchisement of the established player base. People like me just feel like they're kind of over the game, and I don't think that's good. I think it's very bad, but Wizards of the Coast doesn't really seem that interested. They don't really seem to care, and I think that's the real problem. People complain about VIP boosters. People complain about collector boosters. Who gives a crap about collector boosters? Who gives a crap about VIP boosters? Honestly, who gives a crap about the arena economy? I don't. If Wizards of the Coast completely screwed over the arena economy, they're a problem. Who cares? What I care about is being aware of the long-term implications of the choices you're making, and I feel like they're not really considering that. That's the problem. The problem is when they choose not to reprint fetch lands, the power creep. That's the problem. The problem with Magic right now is the power creep. It's the lack of meaningful, useful reprints. It's the fetch lands still aren't reprinted. Wizards of the Coast is so focused on, how much money can we make now? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with profiting from the player. That's the whole point of being in business. That's how they survive. But they are taking into consideration the fact that they are, potentially turning people off from staying in the game long term. And that's one of the big problems right now. And there's plenty of evidence of that. Look at the Twitch viewership. Look how many, go right now in another window, open Twitch. I'll do it myself. We're going to be doing this at different times. Let's go to Twitch right now. I want you to go to the browse or just type in Magic the Gathering. And let's see how many people are watching Magic the Gathering right now compared to other games. So just by comparison, Magic the Gathering right now has 5.3 thousand viewers. By comparison, Grand Theft Auto 5, a very old game, has 53,000 views. Rocket League, a game from 2015, 24,000 views. Among Us, 19,000 views. Actually, interesting, fun fact, Magic is actually pulling more viewers than Fall Guys. Congratulations. Magic has 5.3 thousand, Fall Guys has 4.6 thousand. On the other side, Minecraft has 43,000. Fortnite, also kind of a dead game. Do people watch Fortnite? Well, 3 times as many people do, 13,000. League of Legends, 160,000 viewers for League of Legends. That's a real esports game. Remember when Magic Arena was supposed to be an esports game? 160,000 for a real esports game. Call of Duty, also an esports game. 80,000 viewers. FIFA, 25,000. Valorant, 40,000. Counter-Strike, 78,000. Those are some real esports games. World of Warcraft, 140,000 viewers. PUBG, 21,000. Call of Duty Black Ops, 10,000. Overwatch has 20,000 viewers. Apex Legends has 84,000 viewers. Hearthstone, I think many of us would firmly believe that Hearthstone is an inferior game to Magic. 61,000 viewers. 61,000 people watching Hearthstone. 5,300 watching Magic the Gathering. And that's very indicative of what's happening. I mean, the game is just, it's not doing well. It's just not doing well. It's been so bad for so long. Not even so bad for so long. It's been so bad for like a year or 2 or 3. But it's been bad. It's been bad across the board. And my only hope is that once we start getting these vaccines out, once we can start, holding events again, that Wizards of the Coast goes really, really hard on, pushing paper product. Challenger decks, please print Challenger decks. I'm so afraid that they're not going to print Challenger decks because they did so poorly last year because people couldn't play with them. Challenger decks were a massive flop. They were such a big flop in 2020 because who could buy them? Who could play them? No one could. So I'm terrified that they're not going to do those again, but it's so important that they do. It's more important than ever that Challenger decks exist in 2021. And I sincerely hope that they will do paper tournament coverage. They need to do GP coverage. It's so important. GP coverage is so important right now. And, I miss the days when Magic content, and maybe I'm just being a boomer here, but does anyone else, is it just me? Let me know. Have you guys even heard of them? GP vlogs, do you remember those? Holy crap. When I first got into like Magic content on YouTube, we used to watch GP vlogs. People would go to Grand Prix, they would vlog themselves there. They do updates on how well they're doing. They talk about the deck they're doing. They'd record themselves at the tournament. They'd, show the food that they had for lunch, typical vlog stuff. And it was so fun to watch. There used to be local game stores that had channels. The biggest YouTube channel when they weren't the biggest, I don't think. Were they the biggest? Derium's TCG, does anyone remember that? Card Shop Life? That was the biggest channel, or one of the biggest channels, when I first got into watching Magic content. It was a local game store doing daily vlogs out of their local game store. And that's just been missing for so long. We've been missing paper content. And I know it's a digital world. People just want to play Magic Arena. But I don't think that it leads to long-term enfranchisement. That's the problem. I don't even think Magic Arena content leads to long-term success of the game. I think paper content, I think local game stores, I think GP coverage, I think of non-rotating formats, I think rejuvenating people's interest in Commander and Modern is the most likely to lead to long-term success for the game. I know Wizards of the Coast doesn't want people playing Modern because it doesn't sell packs, but there's nothing more important than people playing Modern. That's why Commander is so successful. That's why the most successful format in quarantine has been Commander. Commander content is doing fine. Command Clash is doing fine. Game Nights is doing fine. And you want to know why? It's because people are still playing Commander in paper. They're playing with Spell Table. Commander content is doing exceptionally well because those players are enfranchised and they're still playing in paper. And that's, the most successful content on my channel recently has been my which commander deck should you buy. I did a commander deck. I did a which commander deck should you buy for the last 2 sets for Ikoria, for the commander, what was it? The Commander Legends ones. You guys can look. You know what I'm talking about. Most successful videos I've posted in months. Commander content is great, and it's great because people are still playing in paper. So I know I sound like a boomer who's like, oh, in my day we played in paper, but I do believe that in-person, face-to-face gameplay, paper gameplay, tabletop gameplay is important for the future of Magic. And I know it's not possible now, but I hope that when it is possible, that Wizards of the Coast recognizes how important it is and really pushes hard to show Grand Prix coverage and stuff like that. Because this freaking arena MPL crap, no one cares. No one cares about the MPL. How many views does like an MPL tournament have? 2,000 or 3,000? No one cares, right? Who gives a crap about the MPL? I don't. The Pro Tour recently on Magic Arena, no one even watched it. Was it called the Pro Tour? Whatever it was called. The freaking Magic Arena, Mythic Tournament. I don't know. No one cares anymore, right? Like, people just don't care anymore. But I think you can make people care again by just focusing on, in-person play when it's possible. As soon as it's possible, please, paper Grand Prix coverage. It's all anyone wants. It's all I want. I just want to watch people playing paper again, and I hope it happens. Not just because it'll probably, spark my. I don't even play paper on the channel, but I firmly believe that paper play leads to enfranchisement of players, and focusing on it when it's possible will really rejuvenate and spark people's interest in the game again. I think a paper Grand Prix when it's possible and doing coverage of it will really reignite people's interest in the game, and I sincerely hope it happens. Will it? I don't know. I'm doubtful, but it would be nice. So I don't know, guys. I don't have an ending point here. My point is, Magic's not dying, but it's in a very bad place. I have massively changed what I've been posting recently because I don't know, I kind of have to. People aren't interested in anything else, so I've been posting Magic Arena videos for the past few months. We will be getting back to, deck techs and stuff soon. So that's it, guys. I don't know. That's a big old 30-minute rant about nothing. Thanks for watching. I don't have anything else to say. Let me know how you feel in the comments if you actually watched this entire video, because holy crap, this was way too rambly. But yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.